Our objectives for today's lesson is to be able to calculate the density of a substance and to be able to use the density to determine the mass or volume of a substance. To calculate density, we need two things. The first is we need to find the mass of the object. This can be done by using a triple beam balance or an electronic balance. The second thing that we need is the volume. If you have a regularly shaped object like a rectangular prism or a cylinder, then you can just use the mathematical formulas to calculate their volume. If you have an irregularly shaped object, then you can use the process of water displacement, where you would fill up your graduated cylinder to a certain level and then place your object into the water. This is going to cause the water to rise to a new level. When you subtract the final volume and the initial volume, that will tell you the volume of your object. Once you have the mass and the volume, you just need to divide. The formula for density is mass divided by volume. And so our unit for density is going to be derived from the formula. So the density unit would be grams per cubic centimeters. That's usually used for solids, or it could be grams per milliliter if it is a liquid. Let's do a couple of examples. Our first example says a coin has a mass of 3.13 grams and a volume of 0.351 milliliters. What metal is the coin most likely made of? Well, since we have a mass and a volume, that's going to tell us that we need to calculate the density. So our formula for density is mass divided by volume. My mass is 3.13 grams. My volume, 0.351 milliliters. When I divide those, I get a density of 8.92 grams per milliliter. But the question asks us, what metal is this? So we're going to go look on our reference table on page 1 at the bottom, and we see that we have a list of densities right here. So we're going to find the density of 8.92, which matches up to copper. So the metal that the coin is most likely made of is copper. Example number 2 says, what is the volume of lead that has a mass of 28.5 grams if the density of lead is 11.4 grams per cubic centimeter? Okay, this time they gave us the density and a mass, and they're asking us for a volume. We're still going to use the same formula, the density equals mass divided by volume, but now we're going to plug in only the information that we have. So we have the density, that's 11.4 grams per cubic centimeters. They gave us the mass, which is 28.5 grams, and we're solving for the volume. So to solve this, I'm going to put the 11.4 over 1, and that's going to allow us to cross multiply. So I get 11.4x equals 28.5, and then divide by the 11.4 to get your x. And so x comes out to be 2.50 milliliters.